Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Do you remember what all things we had learned in the last class? Lakshmi, can you tell me which topic we had discussed?
Dipole moment of polyatomic molecules, then tetratomic molecules, triatomic, then Fagens's rule.
Very good, Fagens's rule. So what about this dipole moment? Jewel, what is dipole moment?
Ma'am, it is a product of charges.
Charge and magnitude of charge.
Product of charges and distance between them.
Okay, magnitude of charge and distance between the centers of two nuclei, right? That is dipole moment. What's the unit of dipole moment? Renil, what is the unit of dipole moment? All of you switch on your videos. Renil, can you hear me? Yes, Renil. Can you tell me the unit of dipole moment? Any audio issues? Devika, what's the unit of dipole moment?
D by unit.
Yeah, it's D by unit, right? Okay. D by and its symbol is D, right? Then what will be the dipole moment value of beryllium fluoride, BeF2? Emmeline, what is the value of dipole moment?
0.
0. What's the reason, Niranjan? Why the dipole moment of beryllium fluoride is 0?
I don't know.
You didn't attend the last class, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Malavika, can you tell me?
Ma'am, they are in the opposite directions.
Yes, they are vector dipoles. They are in opposite directions. So it will cancel each other. That's why the dipole moment value is 0, right? Then which are the 3 points that is related to Fagens's rule? Aditya, can you tell me the first point? Aditya, how can we determine the covalent character? Yes,
Fagens's rule, right?
Fagens's rule, Ra. Yeah.
Covalent bonds have same partial ionic character. The smaller size of the cation and the larger the size of the anion, the greater the covalent character of
Yeah,
this bond.
that's the first point. Smaller size of the cation and larger size of the anion, the greater will be the covalent character of ionic bond. Then Mehreen, what about the second point about Fagens's rule?
The greater the charge on the cation, the greater the covalent character of the ionic bond.
Okay. Greater the charge of the cation, greater will be the covalent character of ionic bond. Okay. So now today we are going to discussing about another theory. The previous one we know that Lewis structure, right? Using this Lewis structure, we can determine the number of bond pairs and lone pair and just the structure of that molecule, right? But this Lewis structure does not explain about the shape of that molecule, isn't it? This Lewis structure, it does not explain the shape of the molecule. Now we are going to learn another theory and it will explain what will be the shape of each molecule. It is based on Lewis structure itself. This is the continuation of Lewis structure. So in the Lewis structure, we just draw the structure of that molecule, including bond pair of electron and lone pair of electron. Now we are discussing VSEPR theory, that is valence shell electron repulsion theory. Clear, children? Valence shell electron repulsion theory. Okay, valence shell electron pair repulsion theory, that is VSEPR theory. So it will provide the simple procedure to predict the shapes of the covalent molecules. In the Lewis structure, we explain the structure of that molecule, including the lone pair of electron and bond pair of electron. Lone pair, that's the electrons, they do not take part in chemical reactions. Then the bond pair of electrons, these are the electrons, take part in chemical reactions. So here through this valence shell electron pair repulsion theory, that is VSEPR theory, it will provide the simple procedure to predict the shapes of the covalent molecules. Clear, children? So here the point is shape of the molecule can be explained using this valence shell electron pair repulsion theory. And these are the two scientists. They proposed this theory, Sidgwick and Powell in 1940. Okay, Sidgwick and Powell in 1940. They proposed this theory. What's the name of that theory? What's the name of the theory? Yes,
VSEPR theory.
VSEPR theory or valence shell electron pair repulsion theory. Okay, and the further development was held by Nyholm and Gillespie. So these are the names of the scientists. They developed the further studies about this valence shell electron pair repulsion theory. Okay, so this VSEPR theory, it will provide a simple procedure to predict the shape of the covalent molecules. And this theory was introduced by Sidgwick and Powell in 1940. Then further development, it has done by Nyholm and Gillespie. Clear? Gaia, can you please read the points?
The valence shell electron pair repulsion theory provides the simple procedure to predict the shapes of the covalent molecules. Sidgwick and Powell in 1940 proposed the theory, further developed and redefined by Nyholm and Gillespie.
Okay. Have you completed this point, children? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Then we are moving to the main postulates of this VSEPR theory. Okay. Main postulates of VSEPR theory. Here the first one is that the shape of a molecule depends upon the number of valence shell electron pairs. What is valence shell electron pair? The electrons that present in the outermost shell, that is considered as valence shell, right? It includes both lone pair of electron and bond pair of electron. Okay, so the shape of a molecule depends upon the number of valence shell electron pairs, both the bonded or non-bonded. Non-bonded are also known as lone pair. Okay, the electron pairs that involved in chemical bonding are known as bonded pair, and the non-bonded or lone pair of electrons that do not take part in chemical reaction. Okay, they do not involve in bonding. So here we are preferring the lone pair or bond pair of electrons around the central atom. Okay, when we draw the Lewis structure, we should notice that the least electronegative atom that should be at the center, right? Least electronegative atom should be at the center. So here also we are preferring the central atom. The shape of a molecule, it will depends upon the number of valence shell electron pairs, including bonded or non-bonded around the central atom. That's the first postulate of VSEPR theory. Clear, children? This is clear about the first point?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. Then we are moving to the second one. Pairs of electrons in the valence shell repel one another since their electron clouds are negatively charged. You always know that. Always like charges repel each other and unlike charges attract each other. Here, these electrons, they are negatively charged, right? So the repulsion takes place between these electrons. That's the second point. Pairs of electrons in the valence shell repel one another since their electron clouds are negatively charged. Okay, The electrons present in the valence shell, they are negatively charged, so they repel each other. There are two types of forces, attractive force and repulsive force. Here they are same charges are there, so they will repel each other. That's the second postulate of VSEPR theory. First one, shape of a molecule depends upon the valence shell electron pair, including bonded pair and non-bonded pair. Then the second point is that the electrons present in the valence shell, they repel each other because they have same charge. Okay. Eva, can you read the first 2 points or first 2 postulates of VSEPR theory? Eva, can you hear me? Mary Angelina, can you read?
Yes, ma'am. Shell electron pairs, bonded or non-bonded, around the central atom.
Second point.
Pairs of electrons in the valence shell repel one another since their electron clouds are negatively charged.
Okay. Have you completed these 2 points, children?
Yes, ma'am.
All of you. What about Adulya?
Yes, ma'am.
Finish, right? Then we are moving to the third postulate. Okay. Third postulate. These pairs of electrons tend to occupy such positions in space that minimize repulsion. I told you, electrons, they are negatively charged. They are same charges, so they will repel each other. So they tend to occupy such positions in space that minimize repulsion. Okay. And thus maximize distance between them. So to minimize this repulsion between these electrons, they will occupy the maximum distance between each electron. Clear? That's the third postulate of VSEPR theory. These pairs of electrons tend to occupy such positions in space that minimize repulsion. To minimize repulsion, they will occupy the maximum distance between them. Okay. That's the third postulate of VSEPR theory. Is this clear, children, about the third point? Tushar, can you read the third postulate?
Yes, ma'am. These pairs of electrons tend to occupy such positions in space that minimize repulsion and thus maximize distance between them.
Okay. So that's the third postulate of VSEPR theory. Then the fourth one is that the valence shell is taken as sphere with the electron pairs localizing on the spherical surface at maximum distance from one another. Here we are taking this valence shell, the outermost shell, as a sphere, and the electron pairs localizing on the spherical surface from at the maximum distance from one another. Okay, so to reduce the repulsion, to minimize the repulsion, they will occupy the positions with maximum distance between each electron. And this valence shell, it is taken as a sphere. Valence shell means outermost shell, and the surface of the sphere, it is occupied by electrons with maximum distance from one another. Okay, that's the fourth postulate of VSEPR theory. Alina, can you read the fourth postulate?
The valence shell is taken as a sphere with the electron pairs localizing on the spherical surface at the maximum distance from one another.
Okay. So that's the third and fourth postulate of VSEPR theory. Here the 2 points, they are mainly focused on the minimum repulsion with maximum distance between 2 electrons. And this outermost shell or valence shell, it is considered as a sphere. And on the surface of the sphere, these electrons are localized. Okay. So through this valence shell electron pair repulsion theory, we are giving importance to the electron pairs only on the valence shell, not on the core of that atom. Core means nucleus and the inner shells. Okay. Here we are focusing only on the valence shell, outermost shell, and the electron pairs occupying this valence shell. Have we completed these 2 points, children?
Yes,
All of you, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then we are moving to the fifth and sixth postulate. Okay. A multiple bond is treated as if it is a single electron pair, and the 2 or 3 electron pairs of a multiple bond are treated as single super pair. Okay. Here, a single electron pair and the 2 or 3 electron pairs of a multiple bond are treated as a single super pair. In a multiple bond, we know that in the case of double bond, there are 2 bonds, and triple bond, 3 bonds, right? So, a single electron pair, it is considered, and 2 or 3 electron pairs of a multiple bond, they are treated as single super pair. Single super pair. We know that how this double bonds and triple bonds are formed. If 2 electron pairs are shared between 2 atoms, it will be double bond, right? If 3 electron pairs are shared between the 2 atoms, it will be triple bond. These 2, double bond and triple bond, they are considered as single super pair. Okay, they are treated as single super pair. That's the fifth point or fifth postulate of VSEPR theory. A multiple bond, it is treated as if it is a single electron pair, and the 2 or 3 electron pairs of a multiple bond are treated as a single super pair. That's the fifth postulate of VSEPR theory. Okay, then we are moving to the sixth one. Sixth postulate of VSEPR theory, where 2 or more resonance structures can represent a molecule. We know that what is resonance structures, right? You are familiar to draw resonance structure. Mainly the resonance structure of ozone. Do you remember? Only the change in position of double bond and single bond, right? So here, where 2 or more resonance structures can represent a molecule, the VSEPR model is applicable to any such structure. If there are more than one resonance structure for a molecule, this valence shell electron pair repulsion theory, it is applicable to any such structure. Do you remember what's the name of that structures? Devika?
Canonical structure.
Canonical structure or resonance structure. Then what's the intermediate between these structure? What's the name of that? Emmeline?
Resonance hybrid.
Very good. Resonance hybrid. So we can apply this VSEPR model for resonance structures also. So these are the 6 postulates of VSEPR theory. Valence shell electron pair repulsion theory. Okay. So we will start with Lewis structure in this chapter. In the Lewis structure, only the structure of these molecules can be studied, right? Including their lone pair of electrons and bond pair of electrons. Then through this valence shell electron pair repulsion theory, we are going to predict the shape or geometry of the molecule. Clear? Have you completed the slide, children?
Yes.
Okay. So from the first postulate onwards, first one, Lakshmi, can you read?
The main postulates of VSEPR theory are: the shape of a molecule depends upon the number of valence shell electron pair, bonded or non-bonded, around the central atom.
Malavika, can you read the second one, second postulate?
the pairs of electrons in the valence shell repel one another since their electron clouds are negatively charged.
Okay, that's the second postulate of valence shell electron pair repulsion theory. Shabri, can you read the third point?
I'm the first one in this.
Third postulate, these pairs of electrons.
These pairs of electrons tend to occupy such positions in space that minimize repulsion and thus maximize the distance between them.
Okay. Thompsonton, can you read the fifth one? Sorry, fourth one.
The valence shell is taken as a sphere with the electron pairs localizing on the spherical surface at maximum distance from one another.
Okay. Now, Rin, can you read the fifth one? We can't hear you. And Mary, can you read? And Mary, yeah.
A multiple bond is treated as if it is a single electron pair, and two or more electron pairs of a multiple bond are treated as a single superpair.
Yeah. Pooja?
Where two or more resonance structures can represent a molecule, the VSEPR model is applicable to any such structure.
Okay. So here we are mainly deal with bond pair of electrons and lone pair of electrons, right? Both are present in the valence shell. So you have to always remember bond pair of electrons are the electrons that involved in chemical bonding. Okay. Then in the case of lone pair of electrons, they do not involved in chemical bonding, but they present in the outermost shell. Okay. Now we are going to discuss the repulsion, the lone pair repulsion, then lone pair bond pair repulsion, and bond pair repulsion are there. Okay, there are different pairs of electrons present in the valence shell. So there will be repulsion between these pairs because they are negatively charged, same charges there, right? So now we are going to discuss what will be the order of their repulsion. Okay, the repulsive interaction of electron pairs decreases in the order. Lone pair repulsion, it is greater than lone pair bond pair repulsion. It is greater than bond pair repulsion. So this is the decreasing order of the electron pairs present in valence shell. Lone pair repulsion, that the electrons present in the outermost shell that do not involve in chemical bonding, their repulsion is maximum. Okay, then the next one is lone pair bond pair repulsion. Okay, then last one is bond pair repulsion. Here the reason is that we know that this lone pair occupied the maximum space. In the case of bond pair, they are shared between two atoms. Okay, so small space is required for this bond pair of electrons. But in the case of lone pair, they occupy maximum space. Okay, so there will be repulsion between this lone pair and lone pair. They covered the whole space. So the repulsion between this lone pair of electrons will be maximum compared to that of lone pair bond pair and bond pair repulsion. This is very important. The decreasing order of the interaction of electron pairs. This repulsion effects result in deviations from idealized shapes and alterations in bond angles in molecules. Okay, so we can predict a common shape for each type of molecule. But this repulsion, it will result in the deviation from their idealized shapes. If lone pair is present on the central atom, there will be certain deviations in their actual shape. Okay, their bond angle will be changed, their bond length will be changed. So there will be difference in the shape of the molecule. So this lone pair, bond pair has a great effect on the shape of the molecule. Clear, children? So this repulsion effects result in deviations from idealized shapes and alterations in bond angles in molecules. Okay, for each type of molecule, there is a definite shape is considered. But here in the case of certain molecules, due to the presence of this lone pair and bond pair, there will be certain deviations from its actual shape. Clear? This is clear, children? Yes or no? Any doubt? Do you want to repeat it again? It's clear, right? Okay. Jewel, what is the order of this repulsive interaction of electron pairs?
lone pair is greater than lone pair, and which is greater than bond pair.
Okay, bond pair, repulsion. So have you completed this one, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So for the prediction of geometrical shapes of molecules with the help of this VSEPR theory, molecules are divided into two categories. Okay, molecules are divided into two categories. Molecules in which the central atom has no lone pair. First category is molecules in which the central atom has no lone pair. That means the electron present in the valence shell, all electrons are involved in bonding. Okay, that's why there is no lone pair on central atom. Okay, then the second category, molecules in which the central atom has one or more lone pairs. So in the case of second category, there are molecules with central atom. They have electrons that do not involved in chemical bonding. Okay, we can discuss the examples for each type and their shape. So depending upon this VSEPR theory, molecules are divided into two categories. Molecules in which the central atom has no lone pair and molecules in which the central atom has one or more lone pairs. Okay, so these are the two categories, and based on these two categories, we can predict the geometry or shape of a molecule from this VSEPR theory, valence shell, electron pair, repulsion theory. Is this clear, children? Yes. So we can do one example. We can start with BeCl2. Okay. BeCl2, which is the central atom here in BeCl2? Beryllium, right? Be. So we can draw the Lewis structure. First, we can find out the total number of electrons. You can tell me. Just 1 minute, children. BeCl2. So the first step to draw Lewis structure is find out the total number of valence electron, right? So what will be the total number of valence electron? Total number of valence electron. Yes. In the case of beryllium, how many electrons are there in the outermost shell?
2.
2, right? And what about 2 chlorine atoms?
9 into 2.
Yeah, 7 into 2. So the total number is 7 into 2, that is 14. 14 plus 2, 16 electrons are there. That's the first step. Total number of valence electron. In the case of beryllium, its atomic number is 4. So its configuration 1s2, 2s2, right? So in the outermost shell, 2 electrons. In the case of chlorine, its atomic number is 17. So its configuration 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p5. So the electrons present in the outermost shell is 7. Here there are 2 chlorine atoms. So 2 into 7, that is 14. So 14 plus 2, 16. That's the first step. Then what's the second step to draw Lewis structure? Second step.
Draw the skeletal structure.
Yeah, draw the skeletal structure. Here you have to find out the least electronegative atom. Which is the least electronegative atom? It should be at the center. Among beryllium and chlorine, beryllium is the least electronegative atom. Then 2 chlorine atoms at the 2 sides, right? Then what's the third step? Draw single bonds, right? Yes. So we can draw single bonds. So out of 16, 4 electrons are already used for bonding. So remaining 12 electrons, right? So we can distribute this 12 electrons, 6 on each chlorine atom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here also same 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, this is the final structure of beryllium chloride according to Lewis structure, isn't it? So beryllium is the central atom. You can tell me, is this lone pair present or not in this beryllium? This belongs to which category? Malavika? Lone pair present or not?
No, ma'am.
Absent, right? So it belongs to the first category. Clear, children? Here in the central atom, that's the beryllium. It has no lone pair. Only 2 electrons are there that shade between the chlorine atom. Okay, so it belongs to the first category. Clear? The molecule in which central atom has no lone pair. Molecule in which central atom has no lone pair. This is the first category. Okay. Clear? Clear, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you completed this one?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then we can do another example. So here H2O. H2O. What's the first step? To find out the total number of valence electrons. So you can tell me what will be the total number of valence electrons. Niranjan, can you tell me?
18.
H2O. Okay, 2 hydrogen atoms. So 2 plus 16, right?
Starting at 8.
Wait, 8. Wait. In the case of hydrogen, 1 into 2. Then plus for oxygen. Oxygen?
6.
6. Okay. So 8 electrons. Only 8 electrons are there. Then second step, draw the skeletal structure, right? Which is the least electronegative atom? I told you about hydrogen. It can be placed along with first group and also with halogens. Okay, that's group 70. So here, oxygen is considered as the central atom. Okay. Then 2 hydrogen atoms are there. The previous thing we have learned that it has a bend structure, right? It has a bend structure. We have learned the same in dipole moment. There we can see that it has a bend structure. Then the third step, to draw single bond. Oxygen, hydrogen, single bond. So out of this 8 electron, 4 electrons are used, right? So remaining 4 electrons. So how can we distribute this 4 electrons? For each hydrogen atom, there will be 1 more electron. Now already 2 electrons are from their bond itself, right? So this 4 electrons can be distributed for this oxygen atom. So this belongs to which category? Central atom with lone pair or without lone pair?
With lone pair.
Yeah, with lone pair, right? So these are the molecules with central atom has lone pair. Has lone pair, the second category. So there are 2 categories according to VSEPR theory. Molecules with central atom has non-lone pair and molecules with central atom has lone pair. Clear, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So based on these two categories, we will determine the shape of a molecule. Okay, so this is the first category. Molecules of central atom has no lone pair. Okay, molecule, just wait. Okay. So here you can see there are different columns. First one, number of electron pairs, then arrangement of electron pair, molecular geometry and examples. Okay. These are different category, and this first one, that is AB2 category. Okay, AB2. AB2. A and B represent the symbols for different elements. Okay. So here there is no lone pair on the central atom, which is the central atom here in the examples, beryllium and mercury, right? Beryllium chloride, beryllium is the central atom, and mercury chloride, mercury is the central atom. Here there are no lone pairs on the central atom, so they have a definite shape, that is linear shape, and the angle between these two bonds, that is 180 degree. Clear, children? They belong to the category AB2. Okay, AB2. And they have linear shape with bond angle 180 degree. And the examples for this type of elements, beryllium chloride, mercury chloride. They have no lone pairs on the central atom. Clear? Then the second one belongs to AB3 category. AB3. Okay. Here the number of electron pairs is 3 and it has trigonal planar shape. Okay, trigonal planar shape, and the example is BF3. BF3. The next one, that is AB4. AB4. And its shape is tetrahedral, and the bond angle here it is 109.5 degree. That's the actual bond angle for tetrahedral shape. And in the previous one, trigonal planar, they are 120 degree each. Do you remember this BF3 in dipole moment? Here the bond angle is 120 degree. That's why the dipole moments between each bond, that is cancel each other. That's the value of BF3, that is 0 due to its trigonal planar shape. Okay. And the next one, that is AB5. AB5 category. It has a trigonal bipyramidal shape. Trigonal bipyramidal shape. Then the sixth one, that is AB6. Okay, it has octahedral shape. Example is SF6. SF6. So these all belongs to first category. Molecules with central atom has. Yeah, Dulya? Any doubt? Your voice is breaking. I can't hear you properly. Adulya?
Ma'am.
I can't hear you properly. Can you message here in the chat box? Your voice is breaking. Do you want to repeat it again? It's in the textbook itself, page number 114, 115. So you just write down the shape of that molecule and one example. Okay. Then you can learn it thoroughly from this textbook itself. So these are the examples of molecules that belongs to first category. Okay. Molecules with central atom has no lone pair. Only bonded pair of electrons are present in the valence shell. Clear, children? Okay. Navneet?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you please read the shape and examples of these molecules? One by one.
First one is linear.
Examples?
BeCl2 and HgCl2.
Okay. Second one?
Shape is trigonal planar. Examples BF3.
Okay. Then
Fourth one is tetrahedral. And the examples are CH4, NH plus.
NH4 plus methane and ammonium ion. Okay. Yeah. Next one.
Then trigonal bipyramidal. The examples are PCl3.
PCl5.
Sorry, PCl5.
Okay. The last one.
Octahedral.
Example.
SF6.
Okay, SF6. So these are the examples of molecules with central atom has no lone pair. Okay, then we can discuss the next category in the next class. So is this clear about valence shell electron pair repulsion theory? Any doubt, children? Any doubt? So who proposed this theory? Thomsonton, who proposed this theory?
Podwell and Sidgwick.
Who? Once again?
Sidgwick.
Sidgwick and Powell. Okay. Later, who redefined and further studies by which scientist? Devika?
Ma'am, Nyholm and Gillespie.
Okay. Then Samia, what's the full form of VSEPR theory? Samia? Samia, can you hear me? Yes. What's the full form of VSEPR theory? John Philip, can you tell me?
Valence shell electron pair repulsion.
Valence shell electron pair repulsion theory. Niranjan, which slide? The table?
No, ma'am. One before that.
I will show that in the next class. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Now it's time, right? So let me take your attendance. Just wait. Okay, then thank you, children. See you in the next class. Have a nice day. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.